welcome back to Asian Pulse. We are broadcasting from the traditional unceded territories of the Kwantlen Silvertooth Squamish Nation, and I'm your host, Shivangi Naiker. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. There are millions of Canadians facing the reality of living with a mental health illness. During May, Canadian Mental Health Association is reaching out to the communities, workplace, and schools to discuss mental health. This is the time to get the resources and the help who may not recognize that they are suffering from anxiety and depression. Awareness and talking about the issue is very important, just like other diseases. Mental health should not be treated differently.
I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada Incorporated. I understand how important it is to have a place called home, and it's frustrating using your hard-earned money on rent. Vic Prasad can make you a homeowner. Get pre-approved services provided to first-time buyers and new immigrants. You can qualify for mortgage even if you have bad credit. Call Vic Prasad now on 604-306-6647. Vic Prasad is associated with Craft Mortgages Canada.
For astrology service, life horoscope, and fortune telling, marriage problem, love problem, divorce problem, money problem, personal or business, all types of puja and havan. Call Pandit Lakshminath Guruji 1604-849-4872, serving Alberta and BC.
Have a pen and paper ready because we have some interesting events that you might be interested in. Hutch Productions, Jay Sani, and Aurora Immigrations presents the Couple Shama Show on June 25th at PNE Coliseum in Vancouver. Presented by Virga International Foods. Tickets are available on ticketleader.com. For more information, call Sam Jun at 780-267-0046.
In our studios, it's my pleasure to introduce to you two gentlemen that are sitting in here. Cal has been on these shows for last 12 years, I would say. And with him is Raj Judge. He's a very strong businessman and is a realtor, but he's not talking about real estate today. We're going to be talking about something else. So what we are going to be talking about, Cal is the founder and president of Kids Play Foundation that you have seen Cal everywhere. Everybody knows Cal. And with Judge, you also know him as well because his ad is everywhere on the buses, trucks, everywhere I've seen. And I say, I need to talk to this man. So why we are here today, we are here to talk about the fundraising that's been organized on the 20th of this month. As you all know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And during this month, they are raising funds for the youth. So the professionals of British Columbia are coming together to raise funds to support the youth mental illness. And 1 in 5 children will be diagnosed with mental illness during this pandemic or even living with mental illness. So why is it so important to raise funds and support the youth? So welcome, gentlemen.
Camilla, thank you so much for having us on the show.
Thank you, Camilla.
Pleasure is always mine. So anyhow, let's talk a little bit about Kids Foundation first.
Yeah,
Kids
Camilla,
Play.
Yes, and I just want to say what a remarkable pleasure, as I mentioned previously, that it's nice to come full circle like this. We've spent so many years together coming on the show, and you've always been a great champion of getting our message out to the general public, and I'm very grateful to you. So thank you so much from me and from the rest of the Kids Play Foundation team. This was another person I wanted to introduce you today, was Rod Judge. So with Kids Play Foundation, as you're well aware, I'm coming into my 23rd year with the Vancouver Police Department as a detective. And it was during my time in the downtown east side as a beat patrol officer that I used to see a steady stream of kids coming into the open-air drug market to engage in drugs and gangs. And a lot of these kids came from lower socioeconomic backgrounds of poverty, subsidized housing. They had never been afforded opportunities to engage in positive, constructive outlets and activity. And these kids would be selling drugs, getting charged, convicted. Society was quick to point a finger at these kids and say, well, you should know better. It came across as very condescending. And what bothered me was the audacity of it all. I mean, the same people that were pointing a finger had never done anything to provide these kids with mentorship or leadership or affordable programming, yet they had the audacity to point a finger at these kids and say, you should know better. Well, instead of pointing out the problem, be part of the solution. And so there was a couple of incidents that happened on the job, which became my moment of epiphany and revelation, that I just realized as a police officer, as a father, and as a community activist, I need to be doing more. And so that was when I had secured some small nominal funding on the side to start running free programs for inner city kids on my own time. And this was back in 2007, quite a few years back. And that whole concept just blew exponentially. So much so that based on the success of that project and initiative, that I decided to inaugurate Kids Play Foundation back in 2015. And from 2015 till now, we have had over 70,000 kids go through our program absolutely free of cost, have over 600 volunteers, and 25 of our volunteers that came up through our program have now gone into law enforcement, whether that's sheriffs, corrections, or police officers, have won multiple awards. And here's the other neat thing, is that God's good grace, and it's a blessing, we have now gone national. We have chapters in Calgary and Toronto, and we have also gone international. Out of all places, we're in Colombia and India.
Wonderful.
It's neat, yes. So it's nice to see that this concept was so universal that it's taken a foot and taken a strong hold in all parts of the world. And at the end of the day, the concept or the formula is very simple and fundamental in nature. If you give children the opportunity to engage in positive, constructive outlets and activity, that it will put them on the right path to success and instill good values and principles. Just that simple.
And kids should be playing anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all grew up outside. Half the life we spent outside playing. That's passion. That's what we do, right? And when you see today's kids, they are all standing in this corner, standing at that corner, and nothing to do, no supervision. Well, parents, I can understand they're busy too. But at the same time, I think when you get all the kids, it doesn't matter who. And this is free too. So let them play. Let them enjoy. That's what they're going to remember, right?
Yeah, and that's what I tell parents as well, is that if we have put this kind of platform out there that's absolutely free of
Yes.
cost, it's not financially restrictive whatsoever, then there should be no excuse, right? Then it's just a matter of you finding the time and investing the energy to bring your kids out to these events and engaging them with these positive, constructive outlets and activity. Because I'm sure you've seen, Camilla, and so has Raj,
Yeah.
is how many kids, specifically from the South Asian community, are going into a lifestyle of drugs and gangs.
Yes.
So much so that is statistically disproportionate compared to any other ethnic demographic out there. And that's the disturbing part, is that why are so many kids from our community going into this lifestyle, right? There's a lot of questions that come up with that.
Very well said. And thank you so much for coming in. And so how did you get engaged into this? Talk about a little bit about yourself, just like Cal did.
So, well, I've been part of the community, born and raised in Surrey, BC. And I actually met Cal over here before Kids Play. So a lot of you people might not know, but I was involved in the plumbing HVAC industry.
Okay.
Our company, Guru Plumbing, and we went door to door, helping people, fix their plumbing, heating, cooling, and that's how I got introduced to Cal when I was just like, I think, 20 years old. And what can I say? Cal's a phenomenal human being, and I remember that day, there was no Kids Play, but he told me, he's like, hey, if there's ever any issue, I'm only a call away, save my number. And I did have issues, things happen, you know what? Growing up here, anywhere really, sometimes you need that support, and you're looking for a proper figure. In our community, we didn't have too many.
We need mentor, to somebody to look up to.
100% in our community, although I'd say we have a lot of financial success in our community, but as a kid, you don't see that. You want to see a nice figure of authority that's doing good, that you can look up to. And for me, Cal was one of them. And he did reach out, I reached out to him, and long story short, we're here today. He's done Kids Play, and we're just talking over the years, mental health
Yes.
has been an issue that I dealt with through family, friends, and I've felt it firsthand, especially in the last 2 years. And that kind of was an eye-opening experience. I think a lot of us still don't know about this cause, like what happens to people, what they go through firsthand. And I think it's still a topic that isn't talked about, because in our community, unfortunately, It's great. We bring everyone together, but one thing is judgment. Judgment is a big thing, and especially when you're a professional and you're running a business or you're in a power of authority, for you to speak up about mental health sometimes can be challenging because you're putting up in front of, I'm the man or I'm the amazing businesswoman that I got everything covered. And we're seeing this all over the world. A lot of people are going through depression, anxiety, panic attacks, you name it, whether it's drugs, addictions. I firsthand have experienced close people in my life. Some of them are still here suffering through it, some of them are not with us anymore.
Yes.
And I think this is something that we need to stand up together as a community and do something about it. That's why we're here today with Cal, you.
And is South Asian communities also, but I also see the same thing is so many of our youth are no longer here because of drug and addiction. And it's so sad to see our youth go like this, right?
Well, Camilla, that is the equation right there.
Yeah.
Is that mental health
Yes.
and drug addiction go
Both.
hand in hand,
Yep.
right? Because a lot of the individuals that I was dealing with in the downtown east side, they were self-prescribing themselves drugs as a coping mechanism
Yeah.
to deal with all the personal, emotional, psychological trauma that they had experienced, right? It could have been some incident, or it could have been multiple incidents, or whatever was causing that, or was the root cause, which resulted in these individuals seeking some solace and consolation in the drugs. And so, as Rod said, you know what, not everybody has the courage or the capability of talking openly about it. So a lot of people internalize it and bottle it in, and that's when it becomes a problem, because then it becomes all-consuming and it destroys you. And if we take a look at the overdose death rates that have happened within the last couple of years, they're significant, absolutely astronomical. We have never seen numbers like this before. I mean, granted, a lot of it has to do with fentanyl, but what led these people to using that drug in the first place? It's become more than recreational use. It's become, once again, a form of self-medication where these individuals are using these drugs. So we have to strip everything away and take a look at some of the deeper issues here. And when you strip it all away and boil it all down, it's mental health.
In 1 year, there are 2,245 deaths due to fentanyl drugs in British Columbia, more so than the people died with COVID. COVID died less than 3,000 in 2 years, but in 1 year, 2,225 deaths were reported. And these were only the ones that were reported. It happened in Vancouver, in Surrey, and everywhere else. So this is alarming number of how we are losing our youngsters to drugs and gangs. So Raj, I was going to say professionals of British Columbia, I think it's called, the professional people who want to come together and at this gala to raise funds for mental health. So who are these professionals?
So our event is called Coming Together.
Okay, sorry.
So professionals coming together. So
Okay.
professionals and people who want to make a change. At the end of the day, we want everyone as a community, doesn't matter what they do, we can all be in the same business. It's not about, we're taking the focus away from money. Mm-hmm. It's about the actual cause. Mm-hmm. The event is for professionals, not professional, everyone coming together and just addressing the issue. So it's easier for people to come out about it. Mm-hmm. Because when you are in these type of situations, it sometimes is hard, and we are quick to judge a lot of people. That, hey, this guy's, we label our community, not our community, I would say people in general, this is a habit that we label. I once used to label people. I'm not gonna say this, that. It's something that we shouldn't do anymore.
Yeah.
We need to understand, hey, this is a brother or a sister. Because it's, when we're in these situations, we understand really quick.
Yeah.
But many people don't understand because they haven't been in that situation.
Right.
And that's pretty much our number one reason, is to make people aware. So the business community, our community, the Fijian community, the Indian community, South Asians, all of us together in Surrey and surrounding areas. So the name, we chose it wisely because it's all about coming together and address this issue correctly. And And what we found is a lot of these issues, addictions, they usually stem from issues that happen at a younger age. That's why Kids Play, we're creating programs, doing counseling for kids and families in need. Because we want to, things have already happened to, you know, our generation, but we can stop it from happening in future generations and what their families are going through. So that's what we're raising funds for, is so we can support these people, support our family and friends, because that's what we are. It's a community, it's a village. Like you say, it takes a village, right? So
To raise a
that's our goal here.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. That's great. Coming together. It's a perfect name that we all come together to be able to support one child, children. Because sometimes we don't know as a parents or grandparents, we don't know what to say or what to do or who do we talk to. Those are these things, the unknowns, right? So this is a great opportunity that if you are part of the Kids Play, then you don't need to talk to anybody. You talk to the people there, and they will find you way, find professional, get you help, right?
That's the number one thing, because a lot of people don't know where to go.
Yeah.
And we just want to let people know we're here. You call us, call Cal, call Kids Play. We'll get you the help that you need. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. We're all here together. You know what? Everyone goes through something in their life, once or twice, a few times sometimes. A lot of people get through these events. Some people don't. We just want to give that helping hand that they need, because addictions are just going, it's amazing, like Cal said, the amount of overdose that we're having. Where is this stemming from? It's all mental health, but we can make a change. So people like yourself, everyone addressing these issues, putting it out there, this really helps. And
You people are the ones sitting here doing the job. My job is to get the word out to the community. That's what I'm doing. But you are the people that are putting and talking about these issues that are being faced by our community or our youth, right? Because sometimes youth are only youth for so long. If they don't have a support while they have going through this kind of difficult time at home or in school and all those. You know, Cal, I was going to say when we were talking off the camera, there's New Westminster secondary schools. The day on Friday, all the girls worked out from grade 12 to grade 9. The reason being there's so much sexual assault happens or sexual violence that nobody's paying attention. We need people like that to be marching to the school board and talking about the issues. Same thing, if there is drugs being pushed around in the school, people should get together and just say, well, this is unacceptable. Or even people that are luring the kids into drugs and gangs. And that's where they start, at the school level.
You know what, Camilla, there's an old Punjabi saying that don't wait until the water's over your head.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
To respond.
Because you wouldn't be able to breathe.
You won't be able to breathe, right? It's too late. And unfortunately, that's what we see with a lot of stuff in our community, that we wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
Right? And when it's too late, then it's exceptionally difficult to reconcile the situation and figure out a solution. You need to be preemptive about it. You need to find proactive solutions from the very beginning, and that's why we focus primarily on youth, younger age kids, right, in elementary school. Because if we can insulate and shield them with good positive values and resources and support systems right now from a younger age, we'll protect them down the road. And we'll make sure that they are well established mentally, emotionally, physically, in all facets and aspects of their life. And that's why we're strong believers that mental health is a truly crucial component of fostering a healthy childhood. And that's why we're pushing this so hard, is that if we can deal with that and fortify and provide these kids with the resources that they need to establish strong mental health at an early age, then these kids will be in a better position later on down in life and obviously a lot more successful.
So what is the youngest age that they can join Kids Play?
You know what? As a matter of fact, we just finished a recycling program and tree planting program that's part of our Operation Green, and the kids were as young as 6 that came out with their parents, and we put a little shovel in their hands, right? And these kids
and
were
a little pot.
Yeah, and a little pot, and these kids just got out there, and point being is they were engaged.
Yes.
Right? It's not a matter of what they accomplished that day, is that they were engaged and they felt like they were contributing something. And that's what we want these kids to feel, a sense of community, right? But with mental health, I mean, it's such an invasive topic. I'll tell you, especially in the South Asian community, there's so much social stigma attached to it. And it becomes a taboo subject because nobody in our community wants to admit that it's an issue, right? And that's why they try to insulate it. They pretend it doesn't exist. Well, you can only take that ostrich with the head in the sand approach for so long before it blows up in your face. And we don't want it to get to that stage. And that's why we're pushing the event so hard, especially in the South Asian community, is because we want to tell these parents, hey, you can feel comfortable bringing your kids to us, and that we will provide them the resources with certified counselors and the proper help, and triage them if they need more advanced help. But it's a place where you can start, right? Every journey starts with one step. This is where you can start. We can get you the help that you need and make sure that your family's protected.
You know, parents have a huge role to play. When I know parents are busy, they said, I have 1 job, 2 jobs, we're doing this, there are 3 kids in the house and all that. But I think the children would like to come and join. But the parents, I find they are not taking the responsibility of taking the kids to the playground, to the soccer field, to the baseball field. And at some point in time, whether you invest now when they are young, or you're gonna be crying rest of your life when they are no longer here. So what would you like to say to the parents that are sitting on the fence and there's always no time? I think if you bought the kid in this world, we have to create time.
If you don't make the time now, you're going to have to make the time at some point in time.
Yes.
Right? Point being is that it's inevitable.
Yes.
It is going to catch up to you. And so there's only so long that you can delay it and ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist, because it will catch up to you. There's a lot of parents that say to me right now, I'll go back to the drug and gang issue. A lot of parents say, you know what, we don't feel comfortable coming out to some of these forums or presentations or conferences on drugs and gangs because it doesn't directly impact our family. Like our kids are not involved in it. And I basically explain to them that God forbid that in the future your child does become involved, then it's too late, right? Yeah. So the whole exercise or objective of why we do this in the first place is a proactive measure, so that you guys can learn from it from the very beginning and avoid that child going down there in the first place. And in Punjabi, there's a proverb that if there's a fire in the neighbor's courtyard, that you are going to get burnt, right? So you are going to feel the heat. And so in that respect, it's important that we come together as a community, not just for the drug and gang issue, but more importantly for the mental health issue now as well.
So those people that are watching you today, both of you, I want you to make a statement why this is so important that community need to come together and be able to provide a forum or funding to be able to help those that are in need of mental health. That's a huge issue in our community.
So mental health, unlike other issues, you don't see it. It's not like a broken arm, broken leg where we evidently see it. Someone could be suffering right now. Could be in the same room as you. You might not even know.
That's right.
And a year from now, you might not see them. It's happened to me. And I don't want that to happen to anybody else. And that's my number one thing. If you can change one life, I think any amount of money for even one life is more than enough. And we need to think of it as a community, neighbors. That's where we came from originally. And we got to get out of this rat race that we're in sometimes. We all get into it. So I'm not going to say one or the other. We all do. But this is a priority. If we don't take it as a priority, if it may not impact you today, but you will see the impact in 10 years from now.
Canada/USA ex-CULT student reunion is taking place at Bollywood Banquet Hall on September 4th at 5 p.m. If you would like to volunteer your time or would like to be on the planning committee, please contact 604-537-5123. Tickets are only $40 per person, and all proceeds will go to the CULT College in Ba, Fiji Islands. A fundraising is being organized to raise funds for VGH and UBC Hospital Foundation. VGH handles the largest burn center in Canada, and they handled the largest volume of complex cases. This is taking place at Bear Creek Park on June 5th from 11 to 5 p.m. Any cash donations you would like to give will represent both hospitals and will give a tax-deductible receipt for your tax income next year. The two women who are organizing this event are Rosie Narayan and Priya Mani. VPD is hosting a seniors health and safety fair on June 8th at Creekside Community Centre in Vancouver from 10 to 4 p.m. This Seniors Health and Safety Fair will be open to all seniors. Light refreshment and lunch will be provided. For more information, please contact Detective Constable Rita Raj at 604-717-9123 or 604-787-3356. The Canadian Federation of Fiji Organization's 17th Annual Youth Talent Show is taking place on May 28th at Kanda Banquet Hall. Doors open at 4:30 and program starts at 5. For more information for tickets, contact Shannon Permal at 778-709-2853 or Eileen Kumar at 778-868-7174. Miss Fiji Canada Food Fundraiser is taking place on May 15th from 12 to 4 at 13425 81 Avenue, Surrey. For tickets and for more information, contact Arvind Prasad at 778-918-4188 or Shannon Permal at 778-709-2853. If you have any events taking place in your community and would like to share it on our show, email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. We are running out of time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did bringing it to you. If you'd like to be a sponsor on our show, please contact Camilla at 604-537-5123 or email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. Before I leave you with these thoughts. If we make a goal to live a life of compassion and unconditional love, then the world will indeed become a garden where all kinds of flowers will bloom and grow. If you missed our show, you can watch it again on Thursdays at 8:30 and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m., Channel 4 and Channel 10 in Calgary. Thank you for spending the part of the day with us. I'm your host, Shivani Naiker. Stay safe and stay healthy. See you all next week.